All right, then welcome to the second session of this day. And I think my session is the longest name on the whole agenda, and it's about accessibility. And the long name was Accessibility is the Future, and I want to show how to manage it with MadeToTag. It's a plugin for InDesign. I use it in daily work to generate accessible PDF files. That should be the topic. Who's familiar with this topic? Hands up. Several people? Okay. For several people it's quite new. So what I would like to do is, in this session, I want to first give you a short introduction about what is accessibility, what it is about, and then the second is about what do I do in InDesign with MadeToTag to generate such files. So let me start with an introduction. I make it quite short, it's only about several minutes. And the things you get here in this session is some basics about accessibility, so that you know what it is about, where you can use it, some tips for managing it, if you're in a job, how to use the knowledge about it, and then I want to give you some benefits, what you get if you use MadeToTag to generate such files. Alright, there are several reasons to get accessible files or to create accessible files. The most I know from my practice is the first thing, it's law requirements. Several countries in the world get laws about accessibility. And in Germany, for example, it's a BITV 2, and it says every document in the internet for official agencies, for ministries, etc. should be accessible. It's 10 years old, quite 10 years old, but not everybody knows about it. And the main topic in this case are equal rights. For example, blind people should be able to read PDF documents like websites and any digital documents. The next thing is about economic aspects. So it's about money. There's some money behind that topic. So it's important not only for blind people to have, for example, accessible files. It's interesting for everybody. And one of that area is about new target groups. So if you like to address people with some disabilities, like mobile devices, think about you have a huge newspaper and you want to read it on a small smartphone. It doesn't work with a normal PDF file, it's too huge. So you can't read it, you pitch in, you zoom, it's not very good to use it there. And the second one is, it's in Germany quite often known as Generation 50 plus. So older people, they get money, but they have not the best eyes. So you need to give them some possibilities to consume documents. Your benefits, if you generate such accessible files, you get highly accessible content. One simple example is, you get a text frame. The text frame has 3 columns. In older times, you used this Distiller. I do Distiller, it's quite old, but you used it to generate PDF files. If you like to take out the text information from the documents, you mark the text and you don't get the first column, the second column, the third column, you get the first line, the second line. That's inaccessible because you don't get the text as you like to do it. And in accessible files, you can read everything in the document as it's there. And for that, it's SEO optimized. The best thing you can do about content is generate a PDF that's accessible, and then Google likes it very, very much. The second one is law conformance documents. Canada, for example, has the best law in my eyes. They have a law, and if you put their document, a PDF file document online that's not accessible, you have to pay up to $100,000 a day. So think about it. What happens if you produce some documents that are not accessible and you have such laws? It's not very good. And at the moment, if you work in this topic, if you offer some kind of possibilities in this area, or you generate such files, you're not at the moment, not in the future, but now you are an early adopter. So I know from my practice, many people asking me, what is it about, how to do with it, and if you start now, you get the knowledge now and not later. So some basics now, if you start, before we start to the practice, about accessibility. We have 4 core principles about it. First one is semantics. It's like an HTML. You get H1, you get H2 for headlines, for example. You get list element, tables, stickers, something like that. So it's quite easy. The same about content order. It's something like a reading order. You know, from the web page, you start at the top, scroll down. The same thing as PDF. And we have alternate access, you know, as well from web documents. You have an alt text, for example, for pictures. What is in the picture? That's the third one. And the last one is about contrast. You don't use yellow, for example, color to write on a white paper. You can't read it very well. That's the fourth thing. And the technique behind it in case of PDF are the so-called PDF tags. So it's hidden, you can't see it in the first thing, but the information about that, you're at the tagging tree in there, and there's a content order, the reading order, and the text itself. So everything you do in your core program, for example, use Word or InDesign, you can put it here in this tagging tree. So that's the core feature of PDF. It's quite old, but it's not really used well in the past times. Then it's about equal content access. So many people think we are doing it for blind people. That's not the case. Everything is about good design and knowledge about it. So please don't repair broken content. And as you can see here, not everybody is capable of using letters right. So what is it? Is it no smoking safety first, or is it no safety smoking first? So think about it. Yes? Quite easy example. So if you get content that's broken, don't fix it. Yes, that's one of the core things here. The accessible files I like to show you and I'm producing are completely PDF UA conform. So it's an ISO standard. You can take a look at the standard. You can say, all right, so this is the text. Please produce it like that, and then you can check if it is conformant or not. So we produce only these files, and that's one thing MadeToTag does, for example. MadeToTag, I already told about it, it's a plugin for InDesign. So if you're using InDesign and you practice work and you like to produce accessible files, you can use InDesign, but it's not funny. It takes a lot of time, several things are broken, so I only use the plugin. You can choose between your versions to produce the files there. It speeds up your work, really. If you take a normal file and use InDesign, it takes 5 times more if you relate it to MadeToTag. And for example, in several things, it helps you to fix problems in the document you can't see. It's hard to find problems in documents. For example, you have 700 pages of a document and you need to find each error. That is a problem for accessible files. It's quite hard, and there it helps you very much. But MadeToTag is good, but it's not enough. You need to take your own brains. That's the first thing. Simplest example is you have a picture and the apple is on the picture. And you say, all right, I need an alt text. And you say, okay, that's a dog. So it's quite an alt text, and the computer will check, all right, there is an alt text, it's quite okay, but it's not the right one. If there's an apple on the picture, you need to write some alt text with apple and not with dogs. So you need to know your documents, you need to write your documents well, if it's possible, and then you take MadeToTag to make it technically accessible. Okay, if you start to produce something, one of my main reasons to do accessible files and to produce it is I'm really lazy and I don't like to spend much time to generate accessible files. So for me, it's a kind of side product. I produce my documents, and as a side product, I get an accessible file. It's not about much time spending it. It's like normal production and then put out some other file format. That's it about. I want to now show you one showcase. It's an annual report of a German company, or it's a company, it's a German journalism. I don't know what it is here, but yeah, I think. So that's the case I'm showing you. And I will show you how I produce the files in, what are some problems in producing the files, and then you will see what you can do with MadeToTag there. Okay, let's go live. Any questions till now for the basics? Anybody? All right, then we'll switch to InDesign so that you can see what I'm doing in daily work. Okay, that's the annual report. It's just a normal InDesign file. That's the first thing you need to know. And I need to use MadeToTag, and that's a plugin, so if you use it, it's here in the Windows panel, and you say, all right, please show me MadeToTag. That's just a small panel, you can use it. And then the first thing, you can do accessible files with InDesign. That's not really a problem. But if you use InDesign, it's quite complicated. To show you one example how it works in InDesign, I'm jumping here in the text. That's one thing I have here. And now I like to say, all right, what's it about? What's the role? What would you do in HTML? And in InDesign, you need to go to the panel for the formats and say, all right, let's see what I can do in a tag export. And you have to do it for each file format here in a document. So it needs much time to find it, and if you do it here, you can't see the real solution. That's quite a problem. In this case, it's easy. You have only one text. That's all. But now, if you're going for the next document, showing here, it might be a bit more complicated because it's bigger. It has more pages here, we have stacks, different text, tables, anything else. So in this case, it's quite good to use MadeToTag to start with the document production. And in this case, I have many documents, people written it in several programs like Word or whatever, and you need to find first the problems in the documents. Are there some problems that might be a reason to have a non-accessible file? So one thing I use here, for example, is, okay, let's see what a text is about and how is it written. So it's forbidden to have an hibernation in the text with a minus and a return after it. That's forbidden because you don't have the word anymore, it's split it into one. So one possibility here is to use MadeToTag to find problems in the documents. There are several ones, and one, for example, is, okay, let's see if there is some wrong hibernation. So I say, find it, and here, for example, it's a quite normal case. Somebody put the minus key and then shift return. So if you, for example, put it out, then it would be the first word and then the second, not one word anymore. So that's not a very good one. What you can do here now with MadeToTag is the correct way. You say, okay, fix it. And if it's fixed, for example here, this is not anymore the minus shift return, it's the correct function of InDesign, which is used now. So in my documents I find it every time. It's quite often. The last document I got, about 9,000 problems like this were inside. So please fix it. It's quite hard. So you can find several problems in documents with MadeToTag and fix it. There are other ways to do it. If you know grep, for example, you have the same possibility. But if you're a starter and don't know about grep searches, then you use this panel here. And if you're somebody who's in project management, for example, you can tell the writers, okay, please next time take a look at it and please fix it if you're writing a text or putting it into your layout and not afterwards. That's the first thing you can do. The second thing, with the second document here, I know many people using Word and they don't use it as it was suspected. So they're writing texts and they have several formats, but they ignore it. And if they like to write a list, for example, they don't use the list function. They say minus or bullet point and start writing. So it looks like a normal list, but it isn't. In normal cases, for example, you would use the list function, and if you have a numbered list, you have the advantage, for example, you're putting the first thing, then put return, and then the second comes up. And you don't have to do anything. But many people don't use it, and for accessible file, it's important to have lists as several special elements. So please use the list function. And if somebody doesn't use the list function, here in MadeToTag, you have the possibility to say, all right, let's search for wrong list elements. I'm doing it now, search for wrong list elements. Now we have a fact here. Okay, that's not a real list. Somebody put a bullet point and text behind it. But that's not a real list. So you have several possibilities now. You can create a new character style or a new format style for that, or can use, for example, an already existing one. So my document is well prepared, so I already got something. Just take the correct thing, say fix it, and it's done. Now it's a list with a list function, and if you have accessible file, it's a list again. Yeah? Once again, it's a small thing, but you need to find such things. And with MadeToTag, it's not only possible to find some lists with bullet points, it's with minus and anything else. So that's important. Prepare your documents and then start generating accessible PDF files. Alright, now if I have a fixed document, I can start with a production. And in this case, I have here the next document. It's quite the same thing. You start first with generating the tags. So what is a headline, what is a list, what is a table? In Indesign, for example, if you use a list function, it's automatically a list if you export it as an accessible file. If you generate a table with a table function, it's already a table. So you don't need to care about that. You only need to care about the text elements. And in this case, I need two functions here. The first thing is export text, highlights the export text with color. That's good if you need to know, do I already care about this one here, this text there, or the pictures and anything else. And the second one is I use shortcuts, so I'm quite fast with it. The first thing is I need to make this into a headline of H1, because it's the first level of headlines, and I say, alright, what should it be? It should be H1. In InDesign, you should go to the format here, go inside, and need some time. Now I have some shortcuts, so I just put Alt1, and Alt1 is the shortcut for heading of first level. And with the rest of the text, it's quite easy. If you have to see, alright, for example, this one here, just zoom inside a little bit. This one here, the main text, should be a simple paragraph. So I put Alt7, and as you can see, now it's marked blue. I had a problem, I fixed it, and now it's already done. With several other things, I can do the same things. Just go inside and put the correct marker here. You need to know about that, you need to know what is a headline or not. But with the shortcuts, it's quite easy. And with the highlighting, you get a feedback, alright? Everything is marked with some color, so I'm now ready. And as you can see, here for example is orange. Orange is H2, a little bit darker orange is H1, so you get a visual feedback which is already done. So if I'm going to the second page, here for example, we have some caption for the pictures I didn't care about, so I just go inside and put it. So it's quite easy to do it. A question?
Yes. Will it mark only the text, or will it also append the correct tag to the style sheet?
It is the same thing as InDesign uses, so I'm just opening this format here. What MadeToTag does is it's using InDesign functionality. So it goes inside the format and setting the tags here.
So for all further occurrences of this style sheet, I'm done. I do not have to access every one.
No, it's for all formats. So if you have 10 formats, you need to do 10 times arranging your formats and you're not done. So if you're good and don't use 100 formats, only 10, then you're faster, of course. But the cool thing about it, it's InDesign function. You can take this file, give it to anybody else who don't have MadeToTag, it works there too. The tagging is already done.
Yeah, or you do it in one document and export the style sheets as master style sheets.
Yeah, for the next one, for example, it works there well. Yeah, okay. So that's the first thing about that. Just putting the tags, and then it will work. And then you have several other things in the document, like pictures, for example. And the next big thing in putting accessible files from InDesign to PDF is you need to arrange the structure. What should be read first, what should be read second, and so on. So in some cases it's quite easy. We will start with a headline. And in InDesign you have the articles panel, and then you need to do drag and drop. And if you have 500 elements in your document, it needs a lot of time and you have to precisely do it. So in this case, I'm using MadeToTag 2 with some shortcuts again. And that's a quite normal thing. I'm taking the text frame, putting Shift Command A, and now it generates me a new article. So I just put it here, so this frame on the left-hand side is the first in my article. I'm done with the first one, and now always the question is, if you have many objects on the page, do I already put this in an article or not? So there's a possibility to say, alright, just show me everything I didn't put in any article, that's with Command X, And then you see, all right, I did not arrange that into the articles panel, so I'm just using the same function again, Shift-Command-A, and then I'm saying, all right, show me everything that's already in my article panel and put it not on my screen, and so you can see, all right, nothing is anymore on my page, so you're already done. You can do the same thing with drag and drop in InDesign, but you don't get feedback, did I already added this one to the article or not? So if I'm going to the next page now, you see, all right, the next text frames are already away. Because that's one whole story, it goes over more than one page. You only need to add one of the text frames in the whole story, doesn't matter how many pages there about, it's already added. And then we forget about the picture. And about pictures is a special thing. If you like to refer in a text to a picture, it's good to have the picture there in a reading order, but in this case you have the text flow, and now you can decide, do I put a picture behind it or before? That's not good. So let's say we need this picture in a special area of the document, let's say in this here at the end of this line. So that's the functionality of InDesign, just drag and drop the document, and now it's in the content flow at this here, at this marker. And a screen reader, for example, what blind people use, will read this paragraph now, and afterwards it will read the picture, or the alt text of the picture, in the case if you're using a screen reader. So you just add all the elements you have, and which are relevant for the reading order, just add it. I do it with MadeToTag because it's much faster than using InDesign. So that's the second big thing if you're doing if you're generating accessible files. If you're tagging the document, there might be some problems. I know it from my customers. Many don't know about paragraph styles. Some know about paragraph styles, but I only use 3 in whole and long documents. So if I'm using it here, I show you, just add 8.1 and once again back, I just H1, that's a normal P style, that's 2, and then there might be some problem because people don't use formats right. One simple example, I have here the second level heading, so it's an H2. And what you see here, this should be H3, but it doesn't, because the same paragraph style is used for both. So now you can do, okay, now that should be an H3, and you can jump between each other, it will not work. But there's a function, you can just say, all right, please take this, generate a new paragraph style, and then say, all right, this should be the H2. That's a simple shortcut, or you can use it here by the file menu, that's not a problem. So I'm just using Shift-Alt-2, and now it generates a new paragraph style. It's the same thing as you can go to the paragraph styles panel, say new paragraph style, and then you change H3 to H4, for example. So this is a feature which you use if you have poor formatted documents and you need to have an output that's accessible. Any questions till now? Okay, then it can go forward. I already told about pictures, and many people having documents where pictures are in a text flow. Like here, for example, you have here your picture and your caption for the picture. And then it comes up that people say, all right, this picture is related to this paragraph here. And then you use the same function as I already showed. You anchor it to the flow. So what I do is now I put it in here. And it might be new for people who don't know InDesign, but for people who know InDesign, it's quite poor. If I'm reducing the transparency, you see what happens. The text is behind the picture. That's a dysfunction of InDesign, but you can't fix it. It's broken in InDesign itself for several reasons. That's one thing. In this case, MadeToTag can't do anything. MadeToTag can't, in this case, repair InDesign's dysfunctionality. So you need to know about what InDesign does. MadeToTag is only a tool for generating the files with all the problems you get in InDesign. Footnotes, the same thing. The footnote function in InDesign is quite poor. MadeToTag makes it not better. It will not work. So please care about such problems in InDesign. They will not be fixed in this case.
And how do we fix it?
There's no way to fix this, except, for example, many people doing like that. You generate a special frame, and with this frame you say, all right, yeah, you know that it's not good, but it works.
Is there any intention of Adobe to fix this, or?
I don't really know. There's a mail address, bugreport@adobe.com, or feature request. Just write a mail. Maybe it will be fixed. I hope it will sometime. All right, the next thing we need to do is, if you're generating documents that's accessible, one people has to do the work. Say, all right, this tag is here and this tag is there, and then you take the document and give it to the next production or the next producer or something like that. And maybe you know it. People using InDesign are very creative in generating names for paragraph and character styles. So it's something like to copy bold, headline. What is a headline? Is it an H1, is it 2 or 3? And one functionality I use, if I don't use such proper names here, in MadeToTag there is a functionality to take the prefix of the tag export and put it to the paragraph style. So I just do it here, and now you can see MadeToTag puts the semantics before the paragraph style. So if the next designer comes for the next production, he should know, okay, that's an H1. It's nothing about design. It's a bold font or it's a huge font. It's about semantics, and you need to put semantics into your file. So I use it here that people know, okay, if I use that, for example here, I have a list. So don't use it for normal text and kill the bullet point at the start. It will not work. Please use your formats right with the correct semantics. It helps people that are not familiar with the topic but need to produce such files. All right, the next thing is what to do with the pictures. And if you have usually documents that have several pictures inside, you need to find your pictures and give them an alt text. And the normal way and do it in InDesign, it's not very good in my eyes. You take the picture, using and searching for some panel, it's here, then you need to change it and write inside. You have to do it for each picture. It takes a lot of time to do it. So in this case, once again, I take MadeToTag. We have a special panel for alt text, and what I do is I say, all right, let's show me all the pictures. And now I have 2 pictures in the whole document. I can just put inside here my alt text. So, and if I say, all right, I can't see what is it a picture about, it's too small. And there's an option to jump to the picture. So if I click in here, my monitor is quite small, then I can see, oh, that's on a picture or that's on a picture. And then I could put the alt text here. So somebody has to do the work. In best cases, somebody puts the alt text in the metadata, and you can take it out from the metadata to the picture alt text here in InDesign. But as far as I know, it might be 1% of all people who know what a metadata is, and then tell him, please put it in the picture. It will not work. So what you do here is now just put the alt text here. It should be a short description, what is inside the picture. Could be the caption of the picture, but in many cases it's not. So in this case here, for example, you need to describe what is on the picture. So we have here some kind of magazine. The magazine is, for example, The Journalist. It's a kind of magazine. And then you have to describe what's on the picture. And the rest here in the panel, you need to do the work. But it's quite smart in my eyes, and it's much more. It's a better solution than InDesign. All right, then we came to the last one. It's not the best one, but it's working. The case of language. It's important to set the correct language, And I know it from many cases in Word, people using Word to write some text and then say, all right, today I need English document or Swedish document or whatever. They just start typing. As far as I know, they just start typing. But the problem is, if you have the wrong language in the document, it's, for example, spelled wrong with a screen reader. And Google, for example, does not take care about the content itself, it's looking at the attribute for the language. So one thing you need to find out is the language for each paragraph correct. And I have here, for example, one document. And what I do now is say, okay, highlight me the colors. In some case I have here English text inside, but it's a German document, so wherever it is. Now I can jump, for example, to the next one, that's here. And you can see, okay, it's green. Somebody put an English language entry to this paragraph. That's important for accessible files, but much more important is if you take the dictionary of English and try to hyphenate German words, it will not work because it's not known. So here I can say, all right, this is a run, and now I can fix it. One possibility, the correct one would be take the paragraph style, that's correct. So as you can see here in my document, here I had a small problem, that's one possibility. And the next one is sometimes you get a small kind of text that's in foreign language, then you can use MadeToTag to change the language here. For example, now I can say that's Turkish, for example. Now you see it switches. So you don't need to use InDesign and the formats to change it, you can do it by this one here now.
Again, will it again change the tag in the paragraph style when you use this way, or? In
this way, as I use it, no. But you can do it. You have the possibility, for example, for this one here. This is my normal paragraph style. I'm jumping inside, and then you have here the German language. Yeah. So what you can do is change it here, and then it changes for the whole document, and MadeToTag would use another color for it, for example, because the language switches. But what you can do too is just take some kind of text and change it with a character style, for example, or with a document function itself. The only thing MadeToTag does is needs the InDesign functionality to change it. If you like to, in a paragraph style, if you don't like to, not. Alright, we are almost done, but the last thing is about tables. Some people know about tables and there are several funny things about it. The functions of tables in InDesign is quite poor. It's the same like in InDesign CS years ago, but if you have accessible files, you have to do some more things. I have some files, some tables here inside. I just show you. This is a quite simple table. So we have a headline here, and this is an orange one, and you have content. So yeah, now you need to know, and that's one of the complicated things I'm doing. Okay, if I'm reading this one here, what is for me important to understand what this text is about? So you need to know, okay, I'm in the column linear, it's the name of the column, and as you can see here, we have more entries of that. So that only is not enough. You need to know, okay, is this, for example, for the Bayerische Rundfunk, or this is for the Deutschlandradio. So you need to know about both things. And for that, you have the table headers. But unfortunately in InDesign, table headers only work for lines, not for columns. But you need to fix it. In earlier versions you need to export the PDF file, take Acrobat and fix it there. But if you have a lot of tables, it takes a lot of time to fix it. So what you can do here now in InDesign with MadeToTag is, the simple thing is take the quick headers. Say, alright, the first column, the first line, and I'm done with the whole table. Using Acrobat, it would need for each element maybe 1 minute. So if you have a table with about 20 lines, 20 minutes are gone. If you have it here now, it's done with 2 clicks, 1, and ready. The next one are smart headers. That's for really complex tables, but I don't like to talk about that because we can talk about days with that topic, so I don't like to do it there. And so using the functionality in this case with tables is the only possibility to generate tables, accessible tables to PDF with don't using Acrobat and manual retag the elements. It's really quite fast. If you're done with all your things, you need to do some output. So I talked about having accessible files as ISO-conform files, so it's PDF UA. If you're using InDesign and the normal export it offers me, there is no way to generate a PDF UA file. You can't even generate a PDF A file. It's only about PDF X. So that's something I don't need. There's a way to export it and then afterwards in Acrobat fix it. But it needs a lot of time. You have to put the PDF UA identifier inside, you have to fix several problems. For example, one of the problems is if you are using in a German document the list function, the list element itself, the numbering of the bullet points, are tagged with an English alt. So you have the numbering, for example, would be like 1 and then German text comes. It sounds not very good, it's not okay for an accessible file. There are several bugs inside, and several bugs are fixed with the output. For example, one thing you use often, it's called anchored frames, optimized anchored frames. One simple thing in the documents, if you have a caption, for example here, and you like to refer it to this marker here. Quite easy, it works in InDesign. What happens if you use InDesign for output? This caption in a tagging tree will be a figure. So it isn't a figure, it is content. It should be readable content. So the only way to anchor text frames into text and have accessible content is use MadeToTag. There's no other way. That's a bug in InDesign, it's really old, but it was never fixed. The second thing is about the table of content. If you have a table of content, you can generate with the table of content function in InDesign. It comes out as a normal P or H1 or whatever you will do. But there are special tags inside PDF, which you can use for the table of contents. If you use this functionality, you have this inside your output PDF file. And then afterwards you can say, alright, please generate me a PDF UA file. And then you have a file with a PDF UI identifier, and then you can use, for example, tools like PDF accessibility checker or anything else to prove if it is a correct PDF UI file or not. The rest of the thing here, for example, is normal stuff like compression style, PPI, anything else. So if you're done, just generate your file, make your output, and then you can use Acrobat, for example, or anything you like to rearrange something else, or to fix problems, or to just take a look or a pre-flight if the file is good or not. Any questions till now? About the functionality, my workflow, anything else? Alright, then I'd like to sum up a little bit. So, using accessible files in InDesign is quite easy if you know InDesign, of course, and if you use the right tools to have the correct output. If you're having a correct output from InDesign and you're using MadeToTag, you have a PDF URL file, and out of this PDF URL file you can do anything you like to. Just put it in the web. You have a highly accessible file, which is law conformance in many countries. You can, for example, what the thing is here, you can just take the output of this one here as an EPUB file, but if you don't have InDesign, you can take a PDF file and generate an HTML or EPUB or anything else. So it's quite easy. I just show you an example how it works with my presentation here. For example, this one is PDF UI. You have here the identifier. I just jump you over. Here I have my UI identifier, this is a PDF UA file, and now if you have the right technique or technology you use, for example, I often use PDF Go HTML, it's a tool from Klaas, free of charge, and now for example here I can see, alright, these are my slides, and this is the content, so I can get the content of this document to something else, like an HTML file, like an EPUB file, anything you like. Highly accessible content. And in the future, you need more like this. Because think about you're generating PDF files. In most cases, it's dead stuff. You put it on a printing machine, but more and more people are reading it online, not on a printed sheet or anything else. They like to say, all right, I'm interested here in this thing here. I need it for my presentation. I like to copy it. It's much, much more easier if you have accessible content, then you can regenerate it for something else you need it. And that's much about the future, I think. All right, any final questions from your side? No questions here. All right, then, if you're interested in this topic, if you're a German native speaker, if you look for me, Klaas Posselt, in the internet, you find several videos, free of charge, YouTube, several hours long, with the whole stuff, a little bit more. And if you're really interested and like to try it, try the tools, not only MadeToTag, try all the other stuff too, and go in your production. The first thing, maybe not with one document with 800 pages. Start with a small one. Then just start producing it. Try it. It will be much more important in the future. I swear. All right. Thanks a lot.